Vamos a continuar. Talent is probably both a scarce resource and the most valuable asset in this global semiconductor race. Companies that hire, train, and retain professionals anywhere in the world are well aware of this. Our first panel is made up of those leaders who manage human resources strategies and will discuss their experience, how to attract, train, stimulate and retain talent in multinational companies in the sector. Let me introduce the panel participants. Isabel Pulido, Director of Human Resources for EMEA at MaxLinear. Elaine, Embleton, Director of Human Resources for EMEA at Analog Devices. Charlotte Melzer, Director of Talent Acquisitions at AMS OSRAM. Eduardo, Selma, Director of Human Resources at VLC-Photonics Hitachi High-Tech. The moderator is an expert in the sector, Iñigo Artundo, CEO of VLC-Photonics Hitachi High-Tech. A round of applause for all of them.
Thank you for the kind introduction. We'll be switching to English in this panel. Thank you for all the speakers. We have very high-level speakers today with us. Charlotte will be online because she couldn't make it for the event today. And because we are a bit late on time, we are going to be trying to make the panel as short as possible so we are all ready for the coffee break. So I'd like to start with an opening question. So we all know that talent is one of the key things in our sector because we need very highly skilled people, and we are facing very intense competition for this talent because there is not much, and it's very competitive landscape. On the other side, it's true that if you look at the high-tech sector, semiconductors has never been such a glamorous or sexy area. People tend to gravitate more towards AI, robotics, biotech. So there is a lack of branding, let's say, on our field. We know that employer branding is one of the key aspects to foster innovation, attract new talent, and be able to foster a career path in our companies. So we need to make our companies attractive in order to attract the best talent. So my first question, and please, Elaine, if you can start with this, how can we as companies, but also educational institutions, can improve the communication of this, let's say, value proposition we have as an industry and make it more attractive, especially for younger generations?
Thank you. It's an absolute problem that we face day in, day out, as we're trying to build up a very good hotbed of skills and talent across EMEA and especially in Valencia. If we look at some of the graduating classes from STEM, only 6% of students are moving into the semiconductor industry. And it's incredible, really, when you think about, semiconductors. We are the backbone of our industry today. Everything from smartphones to solar panels to, AI integration. It proliferates across that. So we need to get better at storytelling. Right? What is that compelling vision? How can we win hearts and minds and make our employees part of that bigger purpose? Our CEO in Analog Devices, Vincent Roach, he's incredibly passionate about not just the products we're developing, but leaving the world a better place, both for the person, but also for the planet. And we see that coming through in a lot of our sustainability initiatives. And then, how do we provide, once we get folks into the industry, how do we actually provide some very meaningful career paths for them? Now, look, that doesn't happen by accident, and we've had great success stories across EMEA. Ireland is a fantastic example of that. We've grown from nothing to 2,000 over the space of a number of years, but we've used that fabulous trifecta of our educational institutes, our government bodies, and our own organization to really pull together, tap into some of those industry norms, looking at the modules we're developing with them, teaching the students what it means to work in the semiconductor industry, let them see the products, test the products firsthand. And often, once they're in, they're in. it's a very attractive place, but we need to be able to get that pipeline much faster, much stronger, going into the schools, going into the institutions, helping them with the teaching. Yeah. We've got to get better at the storytelling.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's connect with Charlotte if she is online. Could you please put her on the screen? Hi, Charlotte. Good to see you. So we're discussing about this question. Could you please give us your view on this?
Yeah, I can only agree. So in employer branding, we have the challenge that most of the technologies are not visible in first sight. So the main challenge is making the invisible visible and having campaigns around that highlight the real-world impact. So, for example, how our sensors enable life-saving diagnostics, or what we do in terms of autonomous driving. So what we do at ams OSRAM is we strongly rely on storytelling through our social media channels. So we reach around 400,000 followers through our different channels. And there we share authentic employee insights. And what we observe is that whenever we share something that is not perfect, self-recorded, it usually has the best performance. So I think being authentic is really key, and really showing, okay, how does a day of an engineer look like, showing our design center in Valencia from inside. So this is really important. And I can only agree on the collaboration part. So partnering with universities, technical schools is key to bring in fresh talent already trained in our technologies, but also foster innovation through joint projects, internships. So in the end, everyone benefits from that. And this is exactly what we've been doing with the University of Valencia and the Polytechnic University of Valencia. And very exciting to see our master student PhDs grow.
Yeah, thank you, Charlotte. Isabel.
I cannot be more agreed than with my colleague, probably. We are facing the same challenges. This is a sector that is invisible. All of us, we are convinced that we are behind, or whatever. What we are speaking, IoT, cloud, we are behind. But who knows that? We know that. But we need to bring young talent, the talent in general, to our sector. We need to start to be, I like the sexy word because we use a lot in our sector. We look like we are not sexy. We need to make sexy our job because it's a lot, it's huge. Innovation, all things that is attracting the young people right now, we have it. What we need to do is to publish. We need to change the mindset. We need to brand ourselves in a different way. We need to show, go out, and this is with the universities and education institute. We need to go, but not only the university, to the schools. We need to start as soon as possible, because as soon as we start, they will see what is the old portfolio we are offering and the possibilities we have. Branding is not only salaries, benefit, or wherever. It's a purpose, and we have a purpose. We are behind all these things in our generation. We need to tell them we have it. We need to show universities. With university, we have great collaboration right now with internship, with this new master. We have also our employees go to teach to the university. Students coming. This interface is key. Universities are key for us. We need to be partner, go hand by hand, and start to be and to show our purpose. We have it, and we know, all of us. Then show them and make this purpose general, and they will discover one of the things that our young generation is appreciate right now is to be in a place with a purpose. I want to make an impact in this life. We are on it.
Yeah, fully agree. I fully agree also with your comment on going to the schools. A few months ago, I was attending the school of my daughter, 7 years old, trying to explain what the microchips are. It's a funny exercise. Eduardo.
Thank you, Iñigo. Can you hear me? Yes. Well, I'm going to do a mix of everything because I think almost everything has been said already. But yes, as Maria Marcel was saying before, semiconductors today powers everything, from smartphones to aerospace technology. But it is true that for the final user, this is invisible. It is not sexy, as Isabel was saying. And we need somehow to make this invisible visible in order to attract talent and retain this talent. This is key. How do we do this? We need to reframe the industry, the semiconductors industry, as a high-impact, high-innovative industry that drives real world change. It's not just there, you know. How do we do this? Well, we come from a university background, as you know. We are a spin-off of the university, Technical University of Valencia. We have had historically a lot of partnership with the UPB, not as much as the UPB, but we'll get there. And we also, as Iñigo was saying, we have some programs to engage even before with the students. So we need to engage with the students before to showcase that this industry has an impact on their lives. This is, I believe, the only way to create a healthy or a bigger candidate pool in the sector in the long term. And as from the corporate side, right now, as Isabel was saying, right now the new generations, they don't only focus on competitive salaries. They are looking for purpose. And this purpose, from the company, we need to showcase this and to foster this, embedding it into our culture and have some purpose-driven mission. Otherwise, we'll not get there. This together with creating clear career opportunities within the sector, which I believe the cluster, the Silicon Photonics cluster, will be a good opportunity for them, might help us to retain this talent. Otherwise, we are at risk of losing the motivation of these new generations, and they will look for opportunities elsewhere.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest exercises of making these invisible semiconductors into the outside world for branding was the exercise that Intel did with this Intel Inside sticker, right? That was one of the best exercises. Okay, so let's jump to the next question. As we all know, semiconductor industry is growing extremely fast, the speed of light, if you allow me, now with the emergence of photonics. And as Maria said, we are now at the exponential growth curve. So this is posing also a very big challenge, which is training and education. Because as we know, there is very few talent, but at the same time, this needs to be very highly skilled and trained. And this represents a challenge both for educational institutions, high schools, universities, but also companies to keep pace with it. And not only to train new generations, but also to be able to re-skill and upskill our current employees. So my question to you is, which technical and soft skills you think are currently most in demand, and how can companies address this fast-evolving skill gap at all levels, from very junior to higher senior profiles? Maybe can we start with Charlotte this time?
Okay, sure. So, yes, very good question. In terms of speaking of technical skills, I think advanced chip design, analog, mixed signal, verification, of course, also AI, and the question how we will benefit from it, how we can improve our data, how we could maybe identify defects in our product, etc., are highly relevant for us. Speaking about soft skills, as a global company, of course, collaboration across diverse teams, but working in an environment, adaptability to change is key, and also I think a continuous learning mindset. So I would say these are the skills most in demand. And in order to address the skill gap and keep our workforce future ready, what we did is set up a clear, structured career development and upskilling program. So We have the AMS OSRAM University, which is set up with more than 60,000 courses, which are available at any place, anytime, to really enable our colleagues around the globe to invest in their development. And the basis for us is a curriculum we set up for our different business units with different technical focuses. And we analyzed, okay, which skills will be needed in the future, both technical and soft skills, to really help colleagues go into the right direction. And upskilling, you mentioned it in the beginning, of course, also means working together with young talent, internships, offering them opportunities, master thesis, bachelor, and also the right form of mentorship from experienced colleagues, engineers. So, and I think last but not least, all these different programs are key to further develop, but what is required in the first place is also a culture that enables continuous learning development. So people are really encouraged to embrace new tools, new methodologies, new approaches. I think this is a very important element.
Thank you, Charlotte. Isabel, what's your take on MaxLinear on this topic?
I think it's more general, but because making a bigger thought is, I think in the technical, you was asking what is the technical skills and soft. In technical, I think all this new area that is pumping up in the market, this new material, photonic, AI, all these things is not only be an area for a new job. This will be inside every job, because as Maria said, AI will be in everything, not only to chat with it's a new process. The process will be adapted, including product, all this kind. Then technical need to open the scope and to take all these new things that is appearing. In the software, what will be very needed, really is a must. We need to be flexible. We need to be very adaptable. We need to have, we need to be eager to learn, because the scope right now is so big that no one has the ability to cover. We need to learn, and we need to learn different things, a lot of different things. Then this is the new, for me, this is something that is need to be a reality. All of us, we need to want to learn, and also be very resilient, because we will fail. It's learning and failing. And then resilience will be another of the big soft skills. What we can do, companies? Difficult. It's a complex environment. We need, of course, to invest in platform, learning platform. But probably all of you are in the same challenge I have sometimes. Is okay, I look for a training, but market is not offering me a training. I have nothing in the market that can help me. How we can cover these universities in this learning, in this PhD studies, progressing in new things, and also my own employees. They need to teach. We need to take our employees to teach the peers. Because, and here we came another time, mentoring from seniors. Usually when we say mentoring, we have in mind, okay, senior guy teaching the new guy. Guys, we need to change. Reverse mentoring will be here, now. The young generation, they are learning different things, completely different things. They need to teach us also. It's a combination. Right now, mentoring is a combination, and it's a key, of course, together with universities. Universities need to help us to cover the gaps. We will have a lot of gap right now. That means, as my conclusion is, learning in our sector is not something that we need to have. It's a survival skill.
Yeah, very interesting reflections. Thank you. Eduardo, can you comment what we are doing on that respect at VLC?
Yes. Regarding hard skills, we are also seeing some fierce competition on photonic industry, photonic integrated circuits, design engineers. So the design, the software is a key, is a must. And also all the programming languages that goes around it, like Python or C++. We are also seeing some difficulty to find good candidates on the sales side with a deep technological knowledge. We are seeing the slack in the market, so it's something that is good to point out. And as per the soft skills, they are as important as the hard skills at this moment. I will highlight the communication skills because nowadays the engineers need to communicate very, very technical messages across departments which have different technical backgrounds and between different cultures. We all work internationally, so communication is key. Also, as you were saying, adaptability in a fast-changing environment, and also tolerance to frustration, because there is plenty to learn in this sector still. There is plenty to be solved, and our engineers might read 15, 20 papers and still not find the solution to the problem they are having. So we are working in the dark at the moment in some things. So this tolerance to frustration is key, together with the problem-solving skills, obviously, and maybe also project management, like agile. And as per the gap, I think we need to change our mindsets, stop thinking about learning as a once-a-year thing, and embed this continuous learning into our corporate culture. Like you were saying, mentoring, some internal trainings, internal academies. We do this twice a year for both design and testing. Partnership with edtech providers, but again, just do this recursively during the year and not just as a one-off.
Absolutely. Elaine?
Yeah, look, the demand for skills in the semiconductor industry, it's far outstripping supply today. For ourselves, we are always on the lookout for analog and power design engineers, but we're now seeing an absolute uptake, AI, ML, robotics, systems architecture, you name it. So, you know, we continually refresh our market pools for that. It's difficult, right? You're competing in a very, very competitive landscape. So how are we differentiating ourselves? So in analog, we have a very proud history of a learning culture, continuous innovation and entrepreneurial thinking. We have a number of internal conferences, our Global Tech and our European Tech Conference. It's, you know, it's fantastic. I attended my first one last year. It's really, really incredible bringing engineers together, letting them showcase their papers, their patents, what they've done, and how we can continue to foster that learning environment. But, you know, the softer skills side of it, we're seeing that becoming even more powerful and even more important. We're seeing a shift in our customers' expectations. It's no longer enough just to be able to design this and stick it into the ecosystem. They want us engaging much earlier in that process, understanding their insights, their problems, their challenges. So what does that take? Yes, you need the technical background, but you need to be able to communicate effectively, to read across that problem statement. And as we go up the stack, those technical skills, while absolutely foundational, it's only part of the puzzle. So the commercial acumen, the business acumen, how do we really tap into that value? We're seeing that as an absolute requirement in our leaders. But I totally agree, the reverse mentoring, we need that. We need that a lot. We're an aging population. I myself was terrified to get into AI, but I've jumped in, feet first. We've embraced it, and it's phenomenal.
Let's talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me jump, for the sake of time, to the next question. Sure, branding our industry is very important. Training new generations and current generations is very important. But then, in such a competitive environment, how do we retain the talent in our companies? This is one of the key things as well for all of us. We have all suffered from that. There is very intense global competition in that respect because our companies are global. and talent can go everywhere as well, especially now with these remote working policies. There are very quick technological shifts, and at the end, it's just a very limited pool of candidates and employees. So for that, I think building a strong company culture is one of the key things to be able to retain people beyond just economical benefits, clearly. So in your view, what will be the key aspects and the key drivers for retention in our industry, and how can we foster such a strong company culture in a stage, as we are now, where we really need to push for aggressive growth and performance, given the historical moment we are living in, but at the same time, foster employee well-being? It's a challenge. Isabel, can we start with you now?
Yeah, you described the situation we have is a global competition, niche of skills. It's not easy to find the skills we need. And it's new generations with also different views. We cannot provide the same, as I told previously, benefit or salary. We need to create environment. People wants to stay in our companies because they have a meaningful job. They can learn, they can grow. They have the possibilities also to be secure. At the same time, the challenge is supported. I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm failing. Sorry, failing. Oh,
failing.
Failing. Exactly. Thank you. Nothing happens because this is innovation, and creating this environment when also they are autonomous. But the managers is key, the role, because they need to sustain this environment. Easy? No, of course, because we have the press. We have a super challenge goals to get. But we need to have the view on the people also. We need to sustain. We need to, right now, speak about mental health or wellness. It's environment. We need to have it in, and why is, or when we say, okay, what we can do is when this is a reality, it's not a value in the main entry or in the lobby. It's when you enter in a place and you feel it. You feel it. I think this is one of the biggest thing, because also we need to admit that we are super pressed. Super pressed. This is a market that is evolving as a crazy. It's crazy. But we need to have the people there. And I think I say that instead to say retain, that have some negative connotation, is let people feel they want to stay. This is I think this is what we need to. Easy to say. Daily difficult task.
Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you.
Eduardo.
I totally concur with you with the retain thing.
Yeah.
We need to engage, no?
Yes,
we need
actually.
to engage our employees. I think this engagement is very much strongly influenced by three factors. The purpose that we commented previously, employees today, new employees, new generations, Jan said, newer ones, they want to feel their job matters. As we said, it's not just salaries. Also, they are looking for work-life balance. Yes, we live in a very pressure environment. Semiconductor industry is a fast-evolving, fast-growing market, so we have a lot of pressure, but still, we need to be able to keep this work-life balance in order to sustain performance from our employees. And at VLC, we are actually taking lots of steps since many, many years. We implemented the 36 work week 3 years ago, and some flexible hours policy, which allows the employee to work from Monday to Thursday, which is very good. People very much appreciate that. But also, I don't know, create some policies from valuing the work-life balance, the healthy lifestyle, promoting the healthy lifestyle. At the end of the day, this is critical in this market. And also, as you were saying, they need to have career opportunities. They need to have challenges. They need to be able to grow personally and professionally, but us as a company, we need to be there supporting. Otherwise, this won't work.
Elaine?
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. It's a challenge that strikes across the entire industry. Compensation, absolutely critical, right? Everyone deserves to have a fair compensation for a job well done. We're all probably doing this a very long time. When people leave an organization, it's rarely just because of compensation. It's a good data point, but it's not the only data point. And we need to get better at listening to what's being said, but also maybe what's not being said. So this whole notion of the quiet quitting, we're all aware of it. How do we get better at spotting that and addressing that early on and not letting it fester and become a problem down the line? We do an awful lot of surveys. We do have a very vibrant employee resource group network across the company. But really, we like to think about it from an employee's perspective. What are the most important things that they want? What's that psychological contract that they enter into when they come into any organization? Once that is broken, if there's any gap in trust, maybe I didn't get that promotion, or maybe I didn't get that fantastic role over there. We need to be able to come back from that. And we talk about failures. That's not a failure, right? Maybe you just weren't ready at that point, but close the loop on a communication process there. Make sure our managers are very well equipped to be able to have these difficult conversations, and it doesn't turn into a negative experience. In fact, it can turn into a great learning opportunity. Anyone who's worked with me, and looking at some of my colleagues in the audience, know I love talking about development and cross-functional transfers and mobility. I am a big fan of that. I think you become a much more rounded individual. Go and spend some time with the sales team, go and spend some time in the manufacturing arm. Get a good idea as to what we do as a full organization, and that will propel your career down the line. How can we offer those meaningful career paths? You maybe want to look at a management track, maybe you want to look at a technical track. We can offer that, and we need to do better at making that very clear and very easy to be able to tap into for our colleagues.
Mm-hmm. And finally, Charlotte, could you please give us your view on this?
Sure, thank you. I can only agree to what my colleagues said here. I think it's key to make the employees part of the reworked company culture, new environment, and really design new tools, new programs targeted to what they're looking for. So exactly as Elaine mentioned, in terms of career development, for example, we did that because, of course, not everyone wants to be a leader. So we also need solutions for technical experts, for project managers. So we set up 5 different career paths with development opportunities that target engineering colleagues, leadership, project management, specialists, and sales. So really to provide clarity and orientation for people's development. And in terms of culture, very similar approach. So we got collected feedback from our employees through the survey, through workshops, and we worked our company values based on that. One of them being, for example, team up for success. So to work together as one team to best serve our companies, to listen, collaborate, but also to challenge each other. And I think what was already mentioned as well is to offer our colleagues the right environment to perform. So we know that for our employees, flexibility is highly important. Okay, so we have a global 50% hybrid working policy. We also have several flexible work models, but of course other well-being dimensions as well, like mental health support. So I think it's really key to design the portfolio really targeted to the organizational needs based on the employees' feedback.
Okay, thanks a lot. So very briefly now, let me ask you one final question to all of you, because we are just on time. So Open question on the future outlook for the next maybe 5 years on talent retention and acquisition. How our field will be impacted by global trends like AI, like diversity, equity, inclusion, like things like the ongoing deglobalization. What's your view? Eduardo, let's start with you.
Well, yeah, let's start with diversity. Diversity is no longer optional. Diversity is strategic at this point. A diverse workforce increase the problem-solving skills of our workforce, which is very necessary, and also increase the innovation capabilities. Again, we need to implement this into our culture, like the continuous learning. If we want to have a more satisfied workforce in order to retain them and to even to attract talent. At VLC, I think a third of our employees come from abroad, so we have a very diverse base of employees. And I think this is good. This helps us to attract talent and also to retain them because people want to work in a diverse environment. As for AI, well, it's here to stay. This is unstoppable. So we need to adapt. We need to adapt, and we need to take it as an ally. Obviously, this is already happening. There is some AI implementations in the talent or in the HR sector, from, I don't know, from recruiting to analytics, or even helping our engineers do their job. But I feel that human interaction will still be necessary in the upcoming 3 to 5 years. Interaction supervision. As a colleague of mine said once, everybody prefers a homemade cake over a mass-produced cake. So this human touch will be necessary in the future.
Yes.
And as per the globalization, this is a shift that is driving us towards local environments, talent environments. I think the Valencia Silicon Cluster, with this partnership with universities, industry, public institutions, will help us to have this diverse, talented workforce, and also keep and maintain the competitiveness that we need. So yeah, I think this is how I think.
Yes. And regarding diversity, let me say that I'm very proud myself that 1/3 of our workforce are actually women, which is very hard to find in our field, I have to say, unfortunately. Elaine, what do you think about that?
Yeah, just briefly, I agree with all of that, and we've touched on a lot of it today already. DE&I, absolutely critical. It's not just a nice to have, it makes good business sense, right? I think we've enough stats out there now to back that one up. From an AI perspective, yeah, look, we see it from an enterprise level, from a product level, from an employee perspective. It's unlocking phenomenal opportunities. The efficiency that it's giving us, we need to make more of that. And I think, you know, I probably myself had the fear, oh, AI is here for my job. It's not. It's the individuals who can adopt AI and make it work. That's who's coming for your job. So the sooner we get exposed to it, the sooner we can encourage our employees to, you know, dip a toe in. There's lovely micro-learning options. We've introduced Microsoft Copilot now recently within analog devices. Phenomenal. Nadia, it's another AI executive coach that we've received from Valence as a product. Fantastic. Real-time coaching, 24/7 availability. Easing our organizations and our employees in to the AI waters, I think will be able to set us apart in years to come.
Thank you. Charlotte, final comment. Could you comment briefly on how you tackled that in AMS OSRAM?
Yes, I can agree on DI that it will move from compliance to really competitive edge. And in terms of AI, I think the interesting question is, we all agree that AI will automate routine tasks, freeing up time for us. So the central question for me is, how are we going to use that time? So I think HR will have more time to focus on strategic workforce planning, culture building, employee experience topics. So there's a lot of change coming, and I think it's very exciting to be part of it. But I still think that the human connection will remain the key differentiator in all of this, how to use AI to support us, and think about how this will reshape our jobs and where can we add most value to the organization.
Thank you very much, Charlotte. And very briefly, Isabel, because we are over time, could you let us know?
Not to repeat, because I completely agree with my colleague. Adding one thing that we are doing right now in MaxLinear is working in this diversity in the multicultural environment. We are working in global project. Every one of us has a cultural and different ways to do things, and we need to coordinate. We need to work together, and it's not easy. It's not easy task. And then now we are working on that to understand each other, to learn how to work together with people around the globe in virtual teams, collaboration abroad. But yes, we need to. This is a challenge because this is more and more will be that deglobalization is right. We are here is a proof. We try to do environment, local environment, but this means that we are collaborating with other local environments. And we need to learn how to do it. And this is one of the projects we are developing in MaxLinear right now is to learn and to experience, but and to be aware what it means to work with another cultural people that is different from you.
Thank you, Isabel, and thank you all of you. Charlotte, thanks for connecting online. Elaine, Isabel, Eduardo, thanks a lot for this panel. Thank you for the audience. And let's jump into the coffee break now and network all together with the speakers. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.